The wind rolled low across the open plains, brushing golden dust against the horizon where the sun bled its last fire into the sky. She sat on the old fence rail, dress fluttering like a memory she couldn't quite hold. Her heart was still racing from the gallop, too fast, too wild, like her thoughts since she'd met him. He was different from the others. The cowboy rode like the earth itself belonged to him, every muscle moving in rhythm with the land, yet his eyes carried a calm that could quiet any storm. When he first appeared at her father's ranch, she had mistaken him for just another drifter, tall, broad-shouldered, a hat pulled low to hide what life had done to him. But there was something about the way he dismounted, gentle, respectful, as if even the ground beneath him deserved kindness. "Be gentle," she had whispered the first time he took her hand, her voice trembling like a leaf in the wind. He'd smiled, slow and knowing. "Darlin', I ain't never known another way." That was before everything, before the fire, the accusations, the heartbreak that threatened to swallow them both whole. Tonight, though, something was different. The night had a strange stillness to it, like the land itself was holding its breath. He had come to her after sundown, his horse breathing heavy from the ride. "You shouldn't be here," she said, though her eyes betrayed her words. "Your daddy made that clear enough," he replied, voice rough from dust and regret. "But I ain't one to leave without saying goodbye." She looked down, gripping her shawl tight. "You said goodbye last time." He took a slow step closer, his boots crunching against the dry earth. "That wasn't goodbye, sweetheart. That was fear talkin'. This time, I'm here for truth." The memory of the night before still burned in her mind, the race through the canyon, the storm that rolled in too fast, the way he'd reached for her hand when the river swelled beneath the horses. "You ride too fast," she said quietly. "You don't think. You just go." He stopped then, his chest rising and falling, eyes locked on hers. "You said, be gentle, it's too fast." "I heard you. That's why I stopped." Tears welled in her eyes. She remembered the feel of his hand, strong yet trembling, as he pulled her from the riverbank. He could have let her fall, but he didn't. He'd stayed, shivering, whispering that he'd rather drown beside her than live without her. "Why do you care so much?" she had asked him then. "You don't even know me." "I don't gotta know every page to know the story's worth reading," he had said softly, brushing a strand of wet hair from her face. Now, standing under the moonlight, that same tenderness filled the air. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a small, worn locket. "Found this," he said. "Dropped it near the stables. Thought maybe you'd want it back." Her breath caught, it was her mother's, the last thing she had before sickness took her. "You kept it," she whispered. "I kept it close," he said, stepping near enough that she could smell the faint trace of cedar and smoke on his jacket. "Felt wrong letting go of something that mattered to you." Her walls, built from years of loss and loneliness, began to crumble. "Why'd you come back?" she asked. He took off his hat, his eyes soft with truth. "Because every mile I rode away from you felt like a lie." Silence stretched between them, filled with the hum of crickets and the rustle of grass. "You don't belong here," she said weakly. "My father will." "Let him," he interrupted gently. "A man's got to fight for what makes his soul breathe." She turned, trying to hide the tears that now freely fell. "You don't understand. Loving me, it'll ruin you." He smiled faintly. "Darlin', I've been ruined since the day you smiled at me from that fence post." The words broke her. She turned to him, trembling, and he stepped forward, careful, slow. "You said be gentle," he murmured, his hand lifting to her cheek. "And I swear, I'll be nothin' but." Her eyes met his, and for a heartbeat, the world stilled. He leaned in, not rushed, not wild, but with the reverence of a man touching a dream he thought he'd lost. The kiss wasn't fiery or desperate. It was soft. A promise. When they finally pulled apart, she whispered, "It's too fast." He smiled, brushing his thumb against her lips. "Then I'll wait, till it's your pace." But destiny had its own rhythm. From the barn, voices rose, her father's men, torches in hand. "They found me," he whispered. "I can't fight 'em all." She grabbed his arm. "Then don't. Go." He shook his head. "Not without you." Tears streaked her face. "If you stay, they'll hang you. And if I go, I'll die slow without you." the sound of boots drew closer. Her heart pounded. "Take the back trail," she urged. "The creek will cover your tracks." He nodded reluctantly, but before leaving, he turned back, gaze burning. "You got my heart, girl. Keep it safe till I earn my right to take it back." And then he was gone, vanished into the dark, swallowed by the whispering plains. She stood there long after the torches passed, clutching the locket to her chest. The wind carried the faint echo of his horse's gallop, slower now, softer. Gentle. Months passed. The ranch quieted, her father's temper cooled, but her heart never did. Every morning she'd stand by the fence where he'd first smiled at her, watching the horizon for a dust trail that never came. Until one golden dawn, she heard the sound again, steady hoofbeats, calm and certain. He rode toward her with that same quiet confidence, the kind that came not from pride but from promise. When he reached her, he didn't say a word. He just held out his hand. She placed hers in his, and this time, she didn't whisper for him to be gentle. He already knew. Because love wasn't about speed or fire, it was about timing. And when the right heart finds its match, even the wildest cowboy learns to ride slow. He smiled, leaning close enough for only her to hear. "You ready now?" Her lips curved. "I was always ready. Just scared." "Then let's go, slow as the sun rises," he whispered. And as they rode off toward the horizon, two souls finally in rhythm, the world itself seemed to sigh in relief, seasons turned, and the ranch felt emptier with each sunrise. She worked through the days, but her heart lived in the memory of his voice, soft, steady, promising he'd return. One evening, as the sun melted into gold, a shadow appeared at the edge of the field. Her breath caught. It was him, dusty hat, weary eyes, and that same calm smile. He dismounted slowly, walking toward her as if afraid she might vanish. "Told you I'd come back," he said. Her tears spilled before words could form. "You shouldn't have." He took her trembling hand. "Couldn't stay gone. Not when my soul's still here." She looked up, eyes shining. "My father knows," he whispered. "I spoke to him. Told him a man don't steal what's freely given." Silence fell, thick with emotion. Then she smiled, the first real one in months. "You rode slow this time." He chuckled softly. "For you, I'd crawl." The wind danced through the grass as he kissed her forehead. "Be gentle," she asked. "Always," he said, pulling her close. And in that quiet sunset, the cowboy who once rode too fast finally found his forever pace, with her.